there, welcome to your favorite 5-minute program, one day at a time. Today's topic is don't be a tool of the bully, and our text is taken from Genesis 39:18-20. I read in NIV. But as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house. When his master heard the story his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me," he burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. Let me start by defining a tool. A tool is a simple device, or any device at all, used for assembling components or parts. In other words, you use a tool to accomplish a purpose. So in today's story, we see somebody being used as a tool in the hands of a bully to get rid of her victim. And what was that victim? Joseph was that victim. Potiphar's wife went about the house telling everybody before her husband came back that Joseph had tried to rape her. Nobody was reported to have called Joseph and asked him his own side of the story. And when Potiphar came back as well, his wife told him the same story. The Bible says immediately he heard her story, he became angry, picked Joseph and locked him up in prison. Immediately he heard her story, not immediately after he heard both sides of the story. If you don't want to be a tool in the hands of the bully, you must learn to hear both sides of a story. This reminds me of a time in my life when I was just about finishing my university. One of my lecturers had called my colleagues and told them to be copying my character of always greeting people, and that anytime I greeted people, I was always bowing, and that was typical of my culture because I was brought up properly and I obeyed every teaching my parents taught me. And that really encouraged me because the lecturer said it right before me. But ironically, a week later, my daddy came to me and began to shout at me. And guess what? The same greeting that somebody had praised me about was what he was angry with me about. He said somebody had walked up to him and told him that I do not greet him. Who was this person? He mentioned the name. I had no idea who he was. He described him. I did not know him. How come somebody I knew not was accusing me of such a grievous thing, and my own side of the story would not be listened to by my parents? My daddy shouted at me so much that day that I wept bitterly for hours, and I mean hours. I was so hot. And that is what most of us parents do to our children. It is very wrong for us to hear one side of a story and refuse to listen to your child because you believe that you know your child well enough. Sometimes we don't know these children. We don't know what they are capable of doing. Some of them are so good, but we still feel they are bad in the home. And what happens is that we can be tools in the hands of that bully if we do not hear the second side of the story. The Bible says immediately Potiphar heard his wife's story, he locked Joseph up. Joseph had been kind to him. Joseph had been good to him. Joseph had taken care of the affairs of his household so much that he did not worry about a thing except what he would eat. But now he was not ready to listen to Joseph's side of the story. He locked him up. Somebody he had trusted became somebody he could not trust again because someone else said something else. We must not be tools in the hands of the bully. The Bible says in Proverbs 31 verse 8, "Speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute." In verse 9, the Bible says, "Speak up and judge fairly." Be fair in your judgment. You cannot be fair if you are listening to one side of a story. And that is how we can be tools in the hands of the enemy, of the bully. if we do not listen to both sides of the story. Sometimes these bullies mask themselves so much that they can use other people around them to get rid of their victims. And that is why you need to read my book, 20 Facts That Unmask the Bully. In case you have not read it, you can check it out in the comment section. Quickly go and read that book, pass it on to a child that needs it, pass it on to somebody that's been bullied somewhere. Let's be fair as we go out into this week. Let's do the will of God and let's avoid hurting other people because someone else wants you to hurt them. God bless you. Till I come your way next week. It's bye for now.